So the second one is a low-cost ATM, which we designed in India and manufactured in India. So this one is for the Indian market, for the rural market, and its special features include lower cost and also battery backup through solar. So it's very applicable for countries like Africa, and it's going to be, after it is designed and manufactured in India, it's going to be expanded into newer markets in Southeast Asia and Africa. And the last one is a portable dishwasher. So this is for any economy with a very small apartment or small real estate space that you live in. So instead of using your dishwasher as a permanent space, you could have a movable dishwasher which can be connected at all times and executed. So this was also designed completely in India, and the prototypes were manufactured in India. So we have done it before, and we are doing that as we speak. So it's just a question of whether it will happen in the wearable computer space, and that's what I wanted to analyze. So if you really look at all the ingredients that are required for this to happen, for this innovation to happen, as well as for the manufacturing to happen in India, then I think the first thing that is required is the branding and product management. And I think with the level of startups that are there, with the amount of multinational companies that are there, as well as homegrown brands, there is no dearth. And obviously we saw Micromax, we saw Carbon, we saw a whole lot of Indian brands displace the heavyweights of Nokia and Samsung. So it is possible to do that in India. The second one is the technology research labs, and here again we have done the innovation. We have collaborated in Wipro, we have collaborated with IMEC in Belgium. We have other technology innovation labs in Wipro, as well as there are so many of them mushrooming all over India. And I believe that these research labs are certainly going to be the next big thing. And the next is the design and development teams. I don't have to speak too much about it. We have like hundreds of design teams in India. Bangalore is like a big center. We have Hyderabad, and we have Chennai, and we have Bombay, and Noida, and and we saw several more being presented earlier in the day. And then we have the compliance and test validation labs, which is an important ingredient before you get into a manufacturing space. So we do have the Tarang labs at Wipro, which is a pre-manufacturing validation labs, which can go all the way to FCC certification, all the way to pre-certification for FCC, and then you could get FCC certification based on the test results of the lab. So we've tested everything from an automobile to a high-end computer to mobile phones and several other products in this lab. And lastly, the manufacturing facilities, whether you need them. I would say that we are probably a little behind the rest of Asia, but we can certainly demonstrate that manufacturing is something that we can do, and several of the products that I showed you earlier were actually manufactured in India. But what is really the missing ingredient? I think if you look at the examples of Taiwan, which is where ITRI took the lead, where if you take example of Japan, where JETRO was active, we don't have an industry body which actually spawns these entities and these brands and makes them into viable businesses. And I believe that that's the missing ingredient here, and a governing body that can really spearhead and bring all these elements together. And I think that IESA is the perfect role, can play that role to perfection, and hopefully IESA will take that forward. So that's pretty much what I had to say, and I still have 2 minutes if anybody wants to debate or ask any questions. Sure. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
At this juncture, I would request Mr. Pradeep Dharane, the Managing Director of Applied Micro Circuits, to kindly come over and give a memento to our esteemed speaker. Kindly accept a memento, sir. Kindly go to the front. Kindly go to the front. Yeah, Mr. Arvind Jayabal, the General Manager, Semiconductor. Don't worry, after the next keynote speech, we will have the questions together, so that in the interest of time. Thank you. I would request Mr. Arvind to kindly take your seat on the podium, and thank you very much, Mr. Pradeep.